Update. My wife, 25 female, threw away my entire Pokémon card collection because she said I was too old for it. Original post. I'm 30 male, and I've been collecting Pokémon cards since I was a kid. Some are from the 90s and even worth a bit of money. Not that it matters, I would never sell them. Mostly they're sentimental. They remind me of after-school afternoons, trading with friends, and a version of myself that felt simple and safe. I kept them neatly in binders on a shelf in my office. They weren't hidden. They were on display in a place that meant something to me. A few days ago, I noticed the binders were gone. At first, I thought I'd misplaced them because I'd been so busy, but I checked everywhere. When I asked my wife, been married 2 years, where they were, she told me she threw them out. Her exact line was, "You're a grown man. You don't need to play with kids' stuff." She didn't ask, didn't suggest storage, didn't offer any explanation beyond that. She just binned something that had been part of my life for decades. I honestly felt sick. It wasn't just the loss of paper and ink, it felt like a deliberate erasure of part of my history. When I got angry, she doubled down and said I should thank her for helping me move on, as if tossing the boxes was some favor. We argued. I tried to explain why those cards mattered, the friends who've moved away, the tournaments, the rush of pulling a rare card, the way those binders hold memories. She listened like it was an anecdote about someone else, then shrugged, as if my hurt was irrational. I know collecting is weird to some people, stamps, vinyl, whatever, but this felt different because it was connected to my past self. Imagining her carry the trash bags out like it was no big deal made me feel violated and disrespected in a way I can't easily put into words. I don't know what comes next. It probably sounds dramatic, but it feels like a boundary was crossed. Seems to me like I might need to file for divorce, so I just wanted to shout this into the void while I decide what to do. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Not even exaggerating, this is divorce-worthy. And she'll probably paint it as you divorcing her over silly Pokémon cards, but it's you divorcing her because she doesn't respect you or the things you love. You can have a wife who doesn't tear you down for the things you love, but loves you because of them. In my view, when she decided to do this, she threw away our marriage along with the cards. My mother did this all my life to my father. She throws away anything of his she doesn't like. Shoes, clothes, memorabilia, art, etc. It carries over to other parts of their marriage. She steamrolls him on everything. He wishes he had gotten a divorce many years ago, and we, the kids, suffered for it. I'm sorry to hear this. I hope one day he has the strength to run from her. To anyone in a similar situation reading this, staying together for the kids is nearly always a huge mistake. Children learn from their parents how a relationship is supposed to work. They will know instinctively if you're miserable, and they inevitably see the abuse thrown your way and will internalize it, thinking that it's the normal way a relationship works. Don't do it unless the alternative is literally life-threatening. You will damage your kids for life. I would be pressing charges. Pokémon cards are collectibles. I would be horrified my partner did that and would be filing for divorce as well. Can you get them from your bins? Or have they been taken away? Contact your counsel with the date the bins were taken. Maybe you can go to the tip and find them? Sadly, it looks like they might be gone. It seems she did this last week, so I have given up hope on the cards. However, I consider this a small price to pay to show me who the real woman I married is. She might have thrown away my happy memories, but in return, she has saved me many more years wasted with her. I'm loving this attitude. So many people come on here and try to justify crappy behavior. I'm glad you see it, and her, for what it is, and aren't willing to live with the disrespect. Good for you, and I hope nothing but the best for you. Also, I'm so sorry about the cards. I was never into Pokémon, but I have a ton of collectible Barbies. If my husband threw them out, I would do things I can't say on the internet because words like premeditated could be tossed around a courtroom. Thanks for your support. I'm trying my best to stay positive. Now for the update. Firstly, I want to start off by saying thanks for all the messages and support on my last post. I don't want to be that guy, so let me deal with a couple of the commonly raised issues or questions. I checked with the local rubbish collection service, but unfortunately, they weren't able to help. It's not the case that my soon-to-be ex-wife sold these. She threw them out 100%. She has no need for the money. My wife does not have a gambling or drug problem that I am aware of. We spent most of our days together, so it would be impressive if she managed to hide this. As for me, I have moved out of the family home and made my intentions clear to my soon-to-be ex-wife that I will be filing for divorce shortly. She did not take it well. She accepts wrongdoing and says it was a lapse in judgment, but sadly this isn't something we are going to be able to reconcile. Thanks again to everyone who took the time to comment and/or reach out. It helped more than you might think. Additionally, a couple of people reached out offering money to help me replace the cards. As much as that is a kind gesture, I won't be accepting any donations. But if you're feeling generous, please consider donating to your local homeless shelter. This will be the last update from me on this. In the early 1980s, my mom became evangelical and started thinking everything was demonic. I had 2 large cardboard boxes full of comics. I would buy them at this thrift store for like 10 cents each. I had what I know today were some valuable comics. I came back in early high school to find she had burnt them all. Unfortunately, I couldn't divorce my mom. Yeah, when I started working, I started to buy video games and music CDs. One time when my uncle, who is a preacher, visited, they had him look at my CD and game collection. I literally stood there as they broke my CDs and video games, there in front of me. I told them that I had worked and I had paid for them and that they were mine completely. He said he didn't want them in his house. After an argument, I asked if he or my uncle would be paying for each broken CD. We were talking a couple $100. Newer games and CDs, and he almost broke my PS3, but he knew what I paid for that one. Either way, I think something clicked after that, because he never did mess with my stuff after that. He never apologized or returned what it was worth back to me, but I think I did make him realize that this stuff was expensive and it wasn't his. She's lying about the lapse in judgment. She was just hoping you'd get over it. Yes, she's only saying it was a lapse in judgment because you didn't react the way she wanted you to. She would absolutely do it again in a heartbeat. You can never trust this woman with anything you cherish ever again. What's her endgame for doing that? Like, what did she expect would happen? Her becoming your only Pokémon? She had this image of a man in her head, and Pokémon cards weren't part of that image. I've seen people who get in fights and breakups with their partners over gym time, mountain climbing, working too much, working too little, collecting this, playing video games, not being a servant for the in-laws. Person wanted their days off to be theirs, not promised away by their partner. Said a real man would just do it on top of working, like her dad would, who is, in fact, 3 times divorced himself. Last story. Update. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend held me underwater during a bath to prove a point and I'm still shaken. Original post. I'm 19 female and have been with my boyfriend 23 male for over a year now. We come from different countries and religions, but we've made it work. I have to mention this. My boyfriend loves turning everything into a competition. We both go to the gym and he's always like, who can do this better? Even at home, he's always asking who can cook better, clean faster, you name it. A week ago, we were relaxing in the bathtub together. He asked who I thought could hold the other underwater the longest. I found it weird and just brushed it off as one of his usual questions. Just 2 to 3 minutes later, he got up as if to get out of the bathtub and suddenly pushed me underwater. He kept me under for what felt like more than 20 seconds. When he finally let go, he started laughing. I'm generally healthy, but I have a heart condition that requires daily medication to keep my heart rate normal. Without meds, my heart rate can go up to 140 to 150 beats per minute. Even with meds, sudden situations like this can make my heart rate spike to 140 and stay between 110 and 120 for the next few days. He knows this. He brought up what happened today and said he apologized, which he didn't, and that I should get over it. I'm trying. He said he was trying to prove a point, that I need to work on myself more. It doesn't make sense to me because he's naturally stronger than me, and no matter how much I work out, I can't always defend myself successfully against everything. I can't talk to my sister or mother about it. They just ask what I was doing in a bathtub with a guy in the first place. I still don't have friends here. It's just him and me. We've talked about it more than once, and he says if I did this to him, he would have found it funny. I don't know if I just need to loosen up more, but I don't understand how holding me underwater for that long was ever funny in his head. Edit. He's also complaining now about the marks I left on his wrist and arm, almost faded. I didn't mean to. It was sudden. I swallowed a bit of water, and I was freaking out and just wanted him to let go. I apologized for this, but told him it was a natural reaction to what he did. Now for the top comments before reading the update. You need to get out immediately. Do not listen to anything he says to you to convince you otherwise. He is dangerous. If there is a universe where what he did could be forgiven as a massive error in judgment, the way he's reacted since then, finding about 6 different ways to blame you for being upset, is the opposite of what that would look like. His actions are evil, and he acts like a sociopath. 100% this. Holding you underwater was not a competition or a joke. It does not really matter why he did it. Him choosing to do it is absolutely evil. It is no different than him pulling out and cocking a gun and pointing it at you. He is dangerous. You're completely right. It's just I've never felt unsafe or uncomfortable around him. That's why this is so difficult for me, I guess. This is very, very scary. I am afraid for you. You are still shaken because what he did was violent. There is no other way to define it. He used his greater body mass to restrain you in a dangerous, scary, and potentially life-threatening situation and found it funny. He has gone far beyond the boundaries of normal competitiveness. The fact that he pushed you to apologize for leaving marks on his arm while he was practically drowning you leads me to believe that he 1 is unable or unwilling to see the true harm of his actions. 2 will do something similarly violent again. 3 will find a way to make your reactions to his violence the bigger problem. Please find a way to remove this man from your life soon before he escalates and puts you in even greater danger. I'm afraid too, and can't stop thinking about what if he does something like this again. I'm confused because he says he didn't really mean to hurt me and I love him a lot. I know I need to really do something about it, but it's been a week and I still haven't done anything. What point was he trying to prove? That at any moment he could just kill you? Actually, that could be the point. He's showing her that he's stronger and willing to do this to her. This makes her controllable. Maybe he wouldn't even need to use more physical violence with the threat of it always in the background. Abuse is always about control, whether it's physical or only emotional. I had an ex who pinned me down when I was lying on my stomach and told me to try to get up. He was stronger and probably outweighed me by over 40 pounds, so I couldn't get him off. He then said to me, "See, I can do what I want, whenever I want." It was not a healthy relationship, and he has cheated on and abused women since then. Much, much worse than anything he did to me. Now for the update. Hi, I just wanted to let you know that I'm away and safe. I tried to log in 2 days ago to update but found that my account has been suspended. Maybe I did something wrong while creating it or mentioned some details I wasn't supposed to. But I'm okay now and wanted you to know, because I'm really grateful for all the advice and support I received that I wasn't sure I would find anywhere else. I'm currently staying with a woman who used to be one of my neighbors before I moved in with him a few months ago. She's the only person I could think of calling for help, and she didn't hesitate to come right away to help pack some of my things and leave. She also encouraged me to call my family. I called my mom 2 days later. She promised not to tell my siblings or my father. My parents are divorced. I told her everything, and she asked how she could help, which was something I wasn't actually expecting. The main reason I was hesitant to let my family know is because of both my older sister and my father. They always bring up things people feel ashamed of or bad experiences they've had just to win arguments. As for my ex, he apologized. He said he meant nothing by what he did and promised never to do it again. But just 3 days after leaving him, he tricked me into meeting him through one of his friends. She said he packed the rest of my things and asked her to give them back to me. I went to meet her in a public place that I insisted on, and he was with her. We didn't talk because I left right away before I even made it to their table. Since I blocked him the day I left, my neighbor called him and let him know that she has no problem helping me get a restraining order if he ever tries anything. That's all. I'm safe, and I know now that I did the right thing. I'm glad I called her. I found a place with 2 roommates that I will be moving to next week. Although she said I can stay as long as I want, she's already done so much for me, and I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of her kindness. Thank you again for all the advice. Edit. There were a lot of comments asking if my boyfriend is Muslim or if both of us are from the Middle East. To clarify, neither of us is Muslim, but I'm from the Middle East. Blocking. Don't speak to him again, and report this to the police and let the chips fall where they were. And don't back off. Press charges. I blocked him the day I left. Thank you. Please go to the police. You could potentially get text evidence of what he did by simply texting, "Do you know why exactly I've left you?" And just talk to him long enough that he admits everything he's done to you. If he keeps avoiding, then you can say, "No, it's because you tried to drown me on X date," and let him respond and make sure he admits it all. Then screenshot everything, send proof of everything to multiple emails, then block him again. Oh, thank God. I have been thinking about you every day since you posted. I am so glad you trusted your mom and she actually came through. I know you were scared about that. Keep relying on the people who have proven to be on your side, and keep being way overly careful and staying the hell away from him. I'm so happy to hear you're okay. Yeah, I was so scared to call my mom, but she was surprisingly understanding and said all she wanted was for me to be safe and come back to her alive. I'm really glad I called my neighbor, even though it was so hard for me. I was literally shaking and cried before calling. But that was what actually pushed me to seek help. Thank you so much. I am so glad you're okay. It's not going to be easy for a bit, but just keep being kind to yourself. Get someone to talk to if you can. I think you need to process that what happened to you actually was supremely not okay. But take your time to get there. I'm just glad you got out.